Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today's a little bit different of a video than we normally do, but I feel like it would just be fun to talk about. It was kind of topical, or at least at the time it's coming out as topical. And I'm a dancer, so why not talk about it? I'm involved in the dance side of this and the K-pop side of this, so I was like, may as well work. So welcome in. If you don't know who I am, my name's Sophie. Hi. I don't do videos like this. But I do K-pop themed videos, dance themed videos sometimes. Yeah, all the fun stuff. So you can subscribe down below. But let's get into it. What we're going to be talking about today is the Nike. I don't know if it's Nike times Skims times Lisa, or if it's Nike Skims and then Lisa. I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna know the campaign I'm talking about if you've clicked on this video. Also, I don't have a mic, so I don't know how this audio is going to turn out. I was going to use Toothless as a fake mic, but then I feel like I can't talk with my hands, which is something I really do, so we'll get into it. So in case you haven't heard, Nike and Skims have released a collaborative apparel collection, which is themed after ballet, presented by Lisa, who's K-pop idol, mainly known for being in Blackpink. This is their Spring 2026 collection and focuses on, as it says on their website, or as I've seen when it's being promoted by influencers, where grace meets strength. It offers 5 different apparel collections designed for everyday performance and style. This Spring 2026 collection celebrates the timeless poise and elegance of ballerinas, but with a distinct modern twist. So it's supposed to celebrate the grace and strength in motion while spotlighting Lisa as a dancer. And unfortunately, this is where the main problem people have had arises. The problem that most people are having is dancers, mostly, with this problem, and it's with Lisa's dancing. So when we look at the people in the campaign, or when we watch the campaign just plainly, you can't deny that dancers are used in this campaign, because background dancers are gorgeous, their dancing is lovely. I don't think any of the dancers from my research are exclusively ballet dancers, but I think a lot of them have trained in ballet, and they're all professional dancers that dancing is their job, basically. It's choreographed by, now I think I'm gonna say these names wrong and I'm so sorry, so I'm gonna put the Instagram pages on the screen. Malu and Sergio are the choreographers, who are really popular choreographers, I think, just making content created around dance, but also ads. I know Sergio also did the Troye Sivan ad that went really popular a while ago. So they've made really good pieces in the past, or really good ads in the past. As a piece that's involved with professional dancers, and then also has such amazing choreographers who have made pieces like this before, become so backlash heavy by mainly the dance community. Now, you can't deny that Lisa's a really good dancer. There's hundreds of compilations of her dancing on YouTube. There's hundreds of compilations about why she should be the best dancer in K-pop. Everyone knows her dance influence, such a heavy part of her image as an idol. I mean, she's been on, I think, a couple now shows, both Korean and Chinese, as a dance coach. Despite all of this, her really good training background, her dance history, her dance influence, she doesn't have any ballet training, and that really comes through in this ad. The main issues that I have found with people giving backlash to this ad stems from 3 main points, so we're gonna talk about them. First one is in the black outfits, the first part of the ad, it's this plie that she's doing in the second position, and mainly, I think I've mainly seen issues more with the releve than the plie, but I've also seen people talk about the plie itself, so we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna put images up on the screen and we're gonna talk about them as we go through them. Here's what a normal plie in this kind of position will look like, and then we've got Lisa's over here. But Lisa's falls flat in 2 areas. First, it's the hip knee angle. What we're looking to see normally is a nice 90 degrees donk donk donk, which you can see in this photo, where you have a nice flat line between your hips and your knees. Nice deep plie. What you can see with Lisa's, and it's not that deep, and there's a couple reasons this could be. So it could be due to her decreased hip and inner thigh flexibility, she just doesn't have the strength or the flexibility in those muscles to stretch that far and to get her down into a nice line. Other thing that could be why is what often happens is her legs just aren't far apart enough, and because her legs aren't far enough apart, she can't bring her hip into line because it gets stuck on the top of her pelvis. The second issue is the releve. Once again, this is what the releve is normally expected to look like. It's quite high and you can see the arch in the foot and the ankle's really pressed forward. What we see with Lisa's is she has like the toes are flexed, but she hasn't pushed forward in her ankle, and so it's not bringing out her up onto a full releve. There's a couple of reasons she may not have been able to do this, or may not have done this per se. I don't think it's going to be timing wise, because this is a slow like movement out. Like, she has the time to force that foot up. It could very much be she just doesn't have the strength in her ankle, or she's not got the flexibility ankle to push it that far forward. The most common thing that I've seen when people are bringing this up and like not defending Lisa but being like, look, this is probably why she didn't do it, is the shoes. Now this is something I want to strongly talk about. I'm not hating on Lisa when I say any of this, but let's talk about these shoes. So these are the shoes in the campaign. It's the Rift Satin sole. I'm not sure if this specifically is the colour she's wearing, but the other colour is black. So I was like, I think it's this one. People are saying the shoes are too stiff for her to bring her foot into this position. That it isn't so much Lisa's fault of not being able to bring her foot into the position, but the shoes are stopping her from doing it. And that is wrong. And I'm going to show you why that's wrong. When you take a look at the shoes design, you can see where the ball of the foot creases when you would go onto demi point. Some of the soles cut away. So you can see that like gap there allows for that flexibility of movement, because these are a sports shoe. So they want to make sure that they are flexible enough for you to move and for you to run in easily. And so cutting away that area of the shoe and the one below it as well gives that allowance of movement. The other reason I can say this with full certainty it's not the shoe's fault is because they're doing it in the promo photo. For the ad, for the shoe. It's in the photo. They're making this full arch position. And now they're not like in a plie, so it's a lot easier, and the other foot's flat, so it's a lot easier to push the foot into that position, but they're still able to do it. They're still pushing off the ground, everything like that, how Lisa should have been able to in the shoes she was wearing. I'm gonna get hate for this, but this is, I think, Lisa's fault. Like, this is just her lack of training in ballet and her, maybe not lack of flexibility, but her lack of comfortability in putting her foot in that position. For your releve issue, it looks to be the lack of Lisa's technique over anything else. Next issue is with the two parts or two moves in the pink segment once they've transitioned into the next outfit. Once again, it's a problem with Lisa's like ballet technique. Now, I am thinking that the first one is intentional, because it's just like, I don't even think it's I think because I took a photo of it, and when we look at the photo, Lisa has, I think, like an intentionally flexed foot. Some of the dancers around her have like nothing going on with their foot, like it's not pointed, it's not flexed, nothing. And then there's only one girl I can see who's got the full pointed foot. And I'm like, okay. So I don't think there was a consensus around this first move. I think it was just like shown in when they were like learning the choreography, and then it like morphed into kind of what it is. So this one we're letting slide. I don't even know what's supposed to be happening here, so I don't doubt anyone else to know what's supposed to be happening here. The next one though is the issue, and I think it's the like other one. I've seen people have more of an issue with this one than I've seen with the releve and the black outfit, and it's her not pointing her feet. When we're looking at what we're expecting here, it's what you can see with the other dancers, where we're seeing the foot pointed. And now, when you point your foot, it comes from two main areas of the foot. It comes not only from the ankle pointing, but also from the toes. And to have a full point, you need both your ankle and your toes to be pointed down at the correct angle, and that gives that really nice line that people are used to seeing when you see like extensions of the leg in any form of ballet. With Lisa, neither her ankle or her toe is pointed, but it's also not flexed, and so it just leaves it like hanging there kind of in limbo. It's not too bad of an issue, but when you put her as the centerpiece in this dance, surrounded by other professional dancers, that when you look at their feet are all pointed every time, it really hones in. You're like, oh, okay, so that's not pointed, and that doesn't look nice. Now, once again, most of the discourse surrounding this, which is like defending Lisa, is once again being like, look, it's the shoes' fault, like all of the other dancers aren't wearing shoes and so they can point their feet fully. We've already discussed the flexibility of the shoes, that they should be able to both flex and point at the toes because of that section of sole is taken away to allow that flexibility of the movement. But once again, we have a proof photo that this isn't so much the case. When we look at the promo photos that Lisa specifically is doing in these shoes, you can see not so much the toe, but you can see the ankles able to be pointed in these shoes. And I'm gonna go a little bit further and say that the toe is able to be pointed as well, because when we look at the professional dancers that are wearing these shoes, and I am assuming these are the same shoes in black. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm like 99% sure they're the same shoes. You can see once at the beginning, when all the feet come up in canon, that the feet are pointed. And then you can also see in this photo that once again, the feet are pointed, including the toes. I don't so much think it's a shoe issue by itself, but I think it could be a combination of Lisa's lack of ballet technique and the shoe. Because Lisa may not have the strength in her toes in that position to overcome that strength of the shoe enough for it to look like a full point. So to sum up everyone's issues that they're having, I think it's a lot more issues here with Lisa's lack of technique of ballet training that's making this campaign fall flat, or like almost look like a mockery to dancers. So then this brings the question around, which I've also seen floating around: why not just use a ballet trained K-pop idol? And there's a lot of K-pop idols that have ballet training, even just like minimal training, but like professional training as well. There's a few of them. But I think when we're like thinking immediately of who we would go to, there's really only two other idols you have in mind, and that's Mina and Kazuha. I'm gonna start with Kazuha because she has the most ballet training. Out of any K-pop idol, I think we really know who would fit this campaign the most. The only issue is she doesn't have like the fan base for it yet, compared to when we think of Blackpink's Lisa. Now this isn't saying that she isn't popular, but when we look at marketability, she isn't in the top pick by far. If we're looking at December's female idol brand rankings, Kazuha wasn't in the top 30. In January, she is there, but she's number 20, and Lisa is number 4. So as much as she would give to the campaign being a pre-pro ballet dancer, she doesn't have the marketability for Skims and Nike to pick her, because they basically don't know who she is. So what about Mina? Because she has the ballet training, she is quite really popular as she's a prominent member in Twice, but unfortunately she's kind of worse off than Kazuha. When we look again at brand rankings, in December she's number 29, and she's not even on the list for January of this year. That kind of surprised me, because I know they've just had their big thing with Pink, but I also think that plays a place into why you wouldn't pick her. Because Victoria's Secret Pink is another athleisure brand that they're marketing, especially with the Victoria's Secret fashion show. And so it would probably make her unable to partner with Skims or Nike when they do the athleisure brand, because she's already working with one. The last part we have to consider when we're thinking why not another idol is that Kim just wanted Lisa. She mentioned in an interview with Complex for the movie Goat that's coming out in theaters soon, that Lisa was her dream person to have on the campaign. And when you have a vision like that in mind, you'll often sacrifice some things to make it happen. By now we've covered the discussion surrounding this campaign on its surface, but maybe let's dive a little bit deeper into why it has such an impact in the dance community and why the dance community is so divided over it. So the main like anti-dance community thing I've seen, like the dance people need to get over it, is based around the elitism that has always been a point of discussion in ballet.
All right, dancers, we need to talk about this Skims campaign because some of you have lost the plot. But for this campaign, I've been seeing comments like this or like this, and I have to say, I'm kind of disappointed in us as a dance community. This pose caused quite a stir, and I gotta be honest, as I was watching, I was like, But let's keep in mind that while this releve is lacking, Lisa is not a ballet dancer, but we can't deny that she is not a dancer. I also saw a lot of comments about this pose. I get it, that is not a pointed foot. Again, not a ballet dancer. Moral of the story, I think we all need a chill pill as ballet dancers, okay? I understand how difficult it can be when we don't see dancers hired in a campaign, but we need to start recognizing when dancers are hired in a campaign. And even though, yeah, they might not be ballet dancers, I don't see that as a problem for this one, to be honest.
Ballet has always been a very elitist, financially demanding sport. With classes themselves costing so much time and money, but also the uniform and equipment you need to do these classes well. It's often led to an exclusion of diversity within the style, leaving it to just those who can afford it. And while this has slowly changed in today's day and age with scholarships and community funding, everything like that, higher you go, the higher that elitism is still a factor. And reputations are often hard to change. There is so much history and knowledge around this topic that I do not have the energy for right now, or the knowledge enough to discuss in this video, so I'm going to leave some links down below and you can have a look into it more if you like. Now, I've been thinking of how I'm doing this like section for a while, so I think I'm just going to blab and we're going to see what comes out. But most of the issue with Lisa dancing in this ad isn't so much that she isn't a ballet dancer, it lies more so within the lack of intention put into Lisa's dancing when she's representing a style she doesn't have any credibility in. It doesn't just fall on her though, it falls on Kim K for picking her to be the main dancer represented in a ballet themed ad. It falls on the choreographer for not fixing and noticing things as simple as a pointed foot or a flexed foot. There's a few trains of thoughts you can have with this conversation. Often one that I find myself thinking is just, did they not like watch the footage? Like when they were filming this, did they not film this back and be like, that foot looks sloppy, or all the dancers are doing different feet, and make that correction there when they're filming? Like, because these are all professional dancers, I don't think it would have been that dramatic to make that change. The other thought though is that this is intentional. The choreographer, the directors, they wanted this to not be as perfect, not only to show that ballet is for everyone, but to add in the little bit of rage bait that'll come with affecting the dance community how it has, how we're seeing it has. It increases attention to the ad, and you can almost go full to give them credit to begin a conversation around elitism in ballet and the exclusion of everyday dancers or people. I don't think that's so much the case and that it's not that serious, or at least I'm hoping it's not that serious, because in the end this is just an ad. For the dance community, there isn't going to be much misunderstanding over the fact that this isn't proper technique and ballet. At the end of the day, this ad isn't just for the dance community, it's for the everyday consumer, and it's just an ad to sell you product and make revenue off a popular topic. In this case, that topic's fallen on ballet. I think a good point that has been made in this is that ballet is for everyone, that this is not supposed to be hyper-specific. I think there's two main points that fall down to when we're talking about the topic of conversation of this ad. One, it is just an ad, just to sell products, and it's supposed to show that ballet can be for everyone, or that everyone can enjoy feeling like a ballerina, especially in these clothes. That's the essence of the campaign. What I can see on the other side is that by not including the professional ballet technique in the forefront on your ad, it leads more people into thinking this can be what ballet is like, which it isn't. It relies on hard work and technique and effort that can just be ignored, and leads ballet to be seen as not a sport anymore. Personally, wrapping it up, I don't think it's that big of an issue. I understand where it's coming from, and when I did see this ad, I did very much be like, she just couldn't point her toes. Like, it's not that hard. I don't think it's that serious. Some people are getting into crazy arguments in the comment sections of these videos, and it's almost more funny than anything else. Yeah, if you like this video, hit a like down below. I don't know if I'll ever do another video like this again. I don't know if this video added anything to the topic of conversation or just voiced in opinions of me, a dancer. But that's what I have a YouTube channel for, is to voice my own opinions, and if you want to hear more of them, you can hit the subscribe button down below. You can watch some more of my K-pop related videos, because I don't do other videos like this. Yeah, bye.